വെബ്
Yes, sir, Vishnu.
Okay. Fine. Okay, we can start then.
Yes,
7
sir.
മണിയായി. ജോൺസൺ സാർ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ.
Yes, sir. Johnson sir join chedu, sir.
Okay. Yes.
So we can start, right?
Yes, we can start.
So good evening, one and all, and welcome back for another informative session, which is conducting as part of our 30 days internship program for LLB students. So let us begin without any further delay. So for comparing the session, I invite Gowri. She's a third-year student from Nehru Academy of Law. Gowri, please. Sorry, Drishya, please.
Thank you, Anuchichi. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. It's better to begin in the evening than not at all. Ashley Jut. A very warm good evening, everyone. Hope all are doing good and safe. I, Drishya, 6th semester BBALLB student of Nehru Academy of Law and an intern at LJRF along with other members, takes this opportunity to welcome everyone to the session of 30 days internship program for LLB students by Law and Justice Research Foundation, lawexams.co.in and LJRF Voice. Today, we'll be dealing with the topic, Significance of Project Complete Lawyer. We have with us Advocate Johnson Gomez and Mr. Sandeep Chandrashekaran as our valuable speakers. I request the participants to kindly mute your mics, and in case of any queries, please do drop it in the chat box. Now, let me invite Gowri Menon, 6th semester BBALLB student, Azhar Law College, Poothotta, to officially welcome the gathering. Gowri?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. A good evening, one and all, and a warm welcome from my side. Thank you to each and every one of you present here for being with us today. I am profoundly delighted to take this opportunity to welcome our eminent resource person to share their view on the topic, significance of Project the Complete Lawyer. First of all, I would like to welcome Advocate Johnson Gomez, Chairman, Project Complete Lawyer, who is a prominent lawyer of High Court and managing partner of Lex Persian, who is having an experience of 25 years in the law field. It's an immense joy and pleasure to have him here with us. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Sandeep Chandrashekaran, Convener, Project Complete Lawyer, who has been an important part and parcel of this Project Complete Lawyer. With immense pleasure and joy, I welcome you, sir. Last but not the least, I welcome each and every one of you to this evening. Thank you.
A small cheer, a great welcome makes a merry feast, rightly quoted by William Shakespeare. Thank you, Gowri, for such a warm welcoming. On behalf of all, I welcome you too. Once again, welcoming each one of you to the merry feast of knowledge and experience by our today's resource persons, Advocate Johnson Gomez and Sandeep Chandrashekaran, sir. I request all the participants to kindly on your videos. Project Complete Lawyer, as it's always proclaimed that a student of law school just attend a pen paper series throughout the schooling, and that law in school is something different from the law in practice. The Project Complete Lawyer aims to strike off this thought or statement from the minds of budding lawyers by engaging them in various clinical training programs in various fields of legal practice and community lawyering. This is a vital initiative program jointly organized by Cochin Institute of International Arbitration and Law and Justice Research Foundation as a tribute to late Professor Dr. N.R. Menon, with an objective to promote the integrity and majesty of legal profession by a formulated protocol, has begun its first assignment on 15th August 2021. Passion is energy, Oprah Winfrey. Now, with utmost diligence, I invite Advocate Johnson Gomez, Chairman, Project Complete Lawyer, an eminent lawyer and arbitrator with more than 25 years of experience, member of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators UK, Director, Cochin Institute of International Arbitration, to enlighten us with the topic. So please.
Good evening, I'm very happy to be in the midst of a lot of young budding lawyers, and a few of the faces are very familiar to me, especially Anna baby is so familiar to me because she was also part of the initial design of Project Complete Lawyer, and probably this Project Complete Lawyer took shape when Anu and Nandita is also here, and few others. Can you switch on your cameras? Do you have a problem? Hope you are all seated comfortably. ഇരിക്കല്ലേ നിങ്ങൾ അതോ അൺകംഫർട്ടബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ? Please switch on your cameras. After all, communication happens when we are able to see the face of the person to whom we are speaking. Otherwise, you might have heard that communication itself happens where just 8% of the communication is vocal, and the remaining 92% of the communication is actually body language. And if you keep your videos off, how can we ensure that എങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നു എന്ന് എങ്ങനെ അറിയാം? It's not possible. Hope all the people are മലയാളികളല്ലേ എല്ലാരും? അനു എല്ലാരും മലയാളികളല്ലേ? Is there anybody from outside?
One of the participants പുറത്തുനിന്നുണ്ട് സർ, ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും മലയാളികളാണ്.
ആരാ, നന്ദിതയാണോ?
അല്ല.
No, sir, I understand Malayalam.
Okay. So Project Complete Lawyer എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് basically I have a question to all of you. നമ്മൾ ലോ കോളേജിൽ ശരിക്കും എല്ലാ നിയമങ്ങളും പഠിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഒരു ചോദ്യം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മനുഷ്യന് is it possible for a human being to learn all the laws passed by the various legislatures, or അതാണോ ലോ കോളേജിന്റെ ഒരു ലക്ഷ്യം? ലോ കോളേജിലെ നമ്മളുടെ പഠനത്തിന്റെ ലക്ഷ്യം നിങ്ങളെ എല്ലാ നിയമങ്ങളും പഠിപ്പിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണോ? Any clues? Does the term lawyer means the person who has learned all the laws? Robin may have an answer. Robin, do you think that all the lawyers know all the laws?
Sorry, I don't think.
Is it necessary to know all the laws?
Not required. That's the reason we have specialization, right? Some are concentrating only on certain areas based upon their interest as well as their knowledge.
Yes. So you mean to say otherwise that you need to know the laws which you are specializing upon. Is it possible to know all the laws that you are actually specializing?
That also not possible. We need to refer based upon the situation requires.
Yes.
We need to have an idea about what all available so that we can refer it when it is really requires.
Yes. So you are doing something like a search. You actually search for the law. You are required. My experience as a lawyer tells me that basically when a grievance is placed before you, you are trying to find out the law. You will find out the law. You will find out the law. How do you find out the law? It's very easy. Now you have India Code. India Code എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു വെബ്സൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, സെൻട്രൽ ഗവൺമെന്റിന്റെ എല്ലാ നിയമങ്ങളും അവർ ഇന്ത്യ കോഡിൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. Have you visited? Anybody? Drishya, have you seen India Code?
No, sir. Came to know just now.
Yeah, India code you will get all the laws. State legislations, most of the state legislations and the central legislations are there. So finding the law seems to be not that difficult. You need to have a Google search and പഠിക്കണത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. സന്ദീപ് സാറിന്റെ ചോദിച്ചാൽ മതി എങ്ങനെയാണ് എക്സ്റേ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്നൊക്കെ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തരും. He used to talk about X-ray search and things like that. How to find the law is all the more very simple now. So once you have found the law, then you will have to proceed to the next stage. A person comes to you, he will have a problem, typically special for that particular situation. ഞാൻ ഇന്നിപ്പോൾ എന്താണ്ട് എന്നെ കണ്ടിട്ട് വന്ന് ഞാനൊരു 5 minutes ആയിട്ടുള്ളൂ വീട്ടിൽ വന്നിട്ട് എന്നെ കാണാൻ വന്ന ഒരു ലേഡിക്ക് ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം. That lady's problem is that she has a child who is autistic. ഓട്ടിസ്റ്റിക് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഓട്ടിസം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അസുഖം ബാധിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ലേഡിയാണ് കാണാൻ വന്നത്. അവരുടെ പ്രശ്നം വളരെ ടിപ്പിക്കലി അവരും ഹസ്ബൻഡുമായിട്ട് ഒരു she was staying with her husband in UAE, United Arab Emirates, and the husband was committing physical torture and there was domestic violence. So she doesn't want to continue the marital relationship. She has an autistic child. The child requires autism. ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത അറിയോ? ഓട്ടിസം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അസുഖത്തിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത അറിയോ? ഒരു 2.5 വയസ്സാവുന്നുണ്ടെ ആ കുട്ടിയുടെ ഇന്റലക്ച്വൽ ഗ്രോത്ത് സ്റ്റോൾഡ് ആവും. അതിനുശേഷം അതിന് ഇന്റലക്ച്വൽ ഗ്രോത്ത് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. ആ ഇന്റലക്ച്വൽ ഗ്രോത്ത് ഉണ്ടാകാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് അപ്പം അതിന് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടാവും. ഇപ്പം സപ്പോസ് ഒരാൾ മരിച്ചു കിടക്കുകയാണെന്ന് ചോദിക്കുക, അയാൾ മരിച്ചു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ വാക്ക് ആ കുട്ടിക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും മനസ്സിലാവത്തില്ല. കുട്ടി പറയും that gentleman was sleeping എന്ന് പറയും. കുറച്ചു നാൾ കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം he may look for this person who was sleeping in that house some time back. ഇപ്പൊ പള്ളിയിൽ പോവുകയാണെന്ന് വെച്ചോ, പള്ളിയിൽ വരുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അയാളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം പള്ളിയിൽ വരുന്ന ആൾക്കാരാണ്. അവരിൽ കസിൻസും ബ്രദേഴ്സും ഫാദേഴ്സും സൺസും ഒന്നും പുള്ളിക്ക് ആ റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് ഒന്നും പുള്ളിക്ക് പറ്റില്ല, അറിയില്ല. പെൻസിൽ പിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. ആൻഡ് ഡിഫറെന്റ് ടൈപ്സ് ഓഫ് ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടീസ് ആർ ദർ. അപ്പം അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു കുട്ടിയെ ട്രെയിൻ ചെയ്യണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു നീഡ് ടു ഹാവ് എൻ ഏർലി ഇന്റർവെൻഷൻ ആൻഡ് ദെൻ യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു അണ്ടർഗോ സം കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് എ തെറാപ്പീസ് ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ഹെൽപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പേഴ്സൺ ടു ഗ്രോ. പക്ഷെ ഇതിനകത്ത് ഒരു തമാശ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ചില സമയത്ത് ചില ഫാക്കൽറ്റീസ് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് അബ്നോർമലി ഹൈ ആയിരിക്കും. ഭയങ്കരമായ മെമ്മറി ഉണ്ടാവും ചില സമയത്ത് ചില ആൾക്കാർക്ക്. ചിലർക്ക് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും, ഓർത്തിരിക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും. പിന്നെ മ്യൂസിക്കിൽ ഭയങ്കര ഇതായിട്ടിരിക്കും. അങ്ങനെ ഒത്തിരി പ്രത്യേകതകളാണ്. നൗ her husband is not permitting her to stay in her matrimonial house. So that is her problem. But she cannot leave the child as it is. She is afraid that if the child is left like that with the husband, who is a very, very busy person, and his monthly salary കേട്ടാൽ നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഞെട്ടിയെന്ന് വരും. ഒരു മാസം അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് 27 ലക്ഷം രൂപയിൽ കൂടുതൽ ശമ്പളമുണ്ട്. മാസം ശമ്പളത്തിന്റെ കാര്യം പറയുന്നത്, വർഷത്തിന്റെ അല്ല. 27 lakhs. So the husband has provided for a driver, maid in the full family, and all those people are put in the house to take care of the son, except the wife. But the wife wants the child to be in India. There is a law. I have found out the law. The law is the National Trust Act 1999 and the Disabilities Act 2016. National Trust Act is specifically for the purpose of assessment of disability of autistic people with autism, and it also provides for It also provides for appointment of guardians if necessary. എല്ലാ ഓട്ടിസം ഉള്ള ആൾക്കാർക്കും ഗാർഡിയൻസിന്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല, ചിലർക്ക് മാത്രമേ ആവശ്യമുള്ളൂ. Otherwise they can do their normal functions. So my question, I am now faced with a challenge. That lady is in India. She wants a child who is in UAE to be brought to India and to be assessed by a local authority that is functioning in that is constituted under the National Trust Act for Autism, Cerebral Palsy and Retardation Act 1999. This is the problem that we are now facing. If problem, how are we going to redress this grievance of this lady? Idana innathe ende challenge. So how do you look at this problem? That's basically what Project Complete Lawyer actually ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രശ്നം അതാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഓരോ ദിവസവും ഓരോ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളാണ്. ഈ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ അതിജീവിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ മാർഗം. അപ്പോ ഈ പ്രശ്നം നമുക്ക് ആ കക്ഷിയെടുത്ത് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ, സോറി that you cannot bring a person from UAE to India? Can I say that, all right, I will bring that person from UAE to India and you give me my fees? എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? What shall we do in a situation like that? This is exactly what Project Complete Lawyer which wish to train the students. And now as I have mentioned, that this particular situation is correctly handled. നിങ്ങൾ അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഗൈഡ്ലൈൻസ് ഫോർ അസസ്മെന്റ് വായിച്ചു നോക്കിയാൽ ഓട്ടിസത്തിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ട് ഇത്ര പെർഫെക്റ്റ്ലി റിസർച്ച്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള റൂൾസ് ഇല്ല. ലോകത്ത് വേറെ എങ്ങും കാണുമെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. അത്ര പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് അതിന്റെ അസസ്മെന്റ് ക്രൈറ്റീരിയൻസ് ഒക്കെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ ആള് ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഇല്ലാത്ത ആളാണ്. Can this particular act be applied to an Indian citizen who is located in UAE? That is my problem. I do not have an answer actually to give you, but this is my problem today. I will have to solve this problem within 2 or 3 days and give an answer. I would like to look at this problem like saying that she has already approached a court in India while the child was at the age of 17, saying that I am suffering from domestic violence, so I may be granted a protection order, custody may be given to me, and all those petitions were. But none of such orders have so far been. I am feeling absolutely difficult to talk to these photographs and all these images. Can you please switch on your videos if it is not that difficult? It's not actually proper for you to keep it. We are straining ourselves and we are now called upon to talk to flowers and beautiful photographs and things like that. അതത്ര ശരിയാണ് പരിപാടിയായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. I always complain about this because I wish to see people, their responses and all those things. അത് നമ്മളെ എൻകറേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നേ, സംസാരിക്കാനായിട്ട് നമ്മളെ എൻകറേജ് ചെയ്യുന്ന അങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ it will be a very dry this thing where I feel totally uncomfortable. Anyhow, so my problem today is this. Now, my problem today is, can I bring this person to be assessed by a team of doctors in India, a team of doctors in her local town in Pathanamthitta? Can the root court issue a writ of mandamus to the husband, saying that you are actually violating the fundamental right of the child, who is an Indian citizen, from depriving him from the custody of the child? Can we say, can we direct the authorities in UAE to Indian mission in UAE to produce the child in India? These are my questions. These are my problems, and I don't have solutions as on date. Maybe if we meet on Monday or Tuesday, I can give you solutions, and I can also give you show how solutions are being formulated in such a situation before the courts. This is how it actually works. Our program actually works like that, and the courage to do such programs were given by people like Anu Anna Baby and his two other Anus. And a few other people there, and because we have experimentally had a program with them, and we found that it was very successful. Hope she might have talked about you about that at some. She will be talking about that at some point of time. And basically, we in another innovation. I think that Sandeep will be able to speak about that. While we had discussed about this problem of clinical study, we came across two situations. As I have mentioned, that we don't need to learn all the laws. We need to find the laws. And then we need to interpret the laws. Can I interpret the National Trust Act so as to bring in every citizen who is a resident of another country? I need to learn private international law. I may have to apply the certain principles of private international law. I do not know. I do not still know whether I will be very successful in seeing that the child is brought to India. If I am successful, I will just let you know. So these are the regular day-to-day problems that a lawyer faces, and these are the solutions that we wish to give to the students in the project Complete Lawyer. So one thing is that we don't wish to teach the law. Second thing is that we would encourage them to interpret the law, and then we would also wish to train them, intensively train them in various soft skills that are needed for becoming a professional lawyer. So that is the other thing that we try to give. And Sandeep has brought in something very innovative into this concept. That is, he was of the view that, we need to work on institutions. He will explain to you as to how to work on institutions. And we would try to conquer institutions. For instance, now the attempt is to conquer the High Court of Kerala, how it functions. And we have now tried to reduce the jurisdiction of the High Court into two pieces of paper. And now we are happy to see that the entire jurisdiction of the High Court is written in 2 sheets of paper. And you can go and download it from the High Court of Kerala website. You will find a rosters. Yeah, daily rosters. Just check the daily rosters. The High Court does not do anything more than what is provided in the daily rosters. So we are now trying to break down the jurisdiction of the High Court of Kerala. And we may be trying to do the same exercise with respect to other institutions. How we do and all will be explained by Sandeep in his. So what is basically our thought process regarding this is that we wish to reduce the incubation period of a law student in his transformation as a lawyer. The incubation period is so huge that it even extends to 12 to 15 years. And people come to students and say that if you become a lawyer, you are not going to be paid for the next many years. And most of the students do not join the profession in spite of the fact that this profession alone can make you the Chief Justice of India, which is the highest known post that is available. But people are scared out and said that if you only have a relative who is practicing, that you can do. അപ്പം ഈ സ്കെയർ മാറ്റാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ആലോചനയാണ്. ഈ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ പീരീഡിന്റെ ദൈർഘ്യം കുറയ്ക്കാൻ കഴിയുമോ എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ആലോചനയാണ്. ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ പീരീഡിന്റെ ഇത് കുറയ്ക്കാനായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യാന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, what we would try to do is that we will give intense training regarding soft skills and intense training regarding, we will encourage them to study the institution, the jurisdiction of the institution. Why? Because we are in a country which has rule of law. The High Court can work only on the basis of rules. So suppose you know all the rules relating to the working of the High Court, then it's very easy to practice in the High Court. If you know all the rules relating to the practice in a municipal court, it's very easy to practice. So likewise, I don't want to take much of the time because Sandeep will also have to speak. So therefore, through intense training, through the study of institutions, we wish to reduce the incubation, duration of the incubation period. We wish that within a period of 2 years, a law student will be able to practice in every branch of law and every institution available in the country. I'm not talking of making you the next Harish Salve. I am talking about a person who is able to pay all the bills. എല്ലാ ബില്ലുകളും നമുക്ക് മാസം ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന എല്ലാ ബില്ലുകളും നമ്മൾ തന്നെ അടയ്ക്കുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്. I am not talking that about a person who can become the next Harish Salve or legal luminaries. But you will become a legal luminary because if you continue that process, I am very sure about that. And this training will always, training കഴിഞ്ഞു വെച്ച് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? കേസ് വേണ്ടേ? കേസില്ലാണ്ട് എങ്ങനെയാ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്? I can tell you with all confidence, India is a country with a population of 1.3 billion population ഉള്ള ഒരു രാജ്യമാണ്. ഇന്ത്യക്ക് ഒരു കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ട്. ആ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷനകത്ത് പറഞ്ഞേക്കുന്നത് എന്താണ്? We will render justice, social, economic, and political to all the citizens. Who is going to do that? Hey, gentlemen, you are going to do that. ഈ ലൈറ്റ് ഇതൊക്കെ അണച്ചു വെച്ചേക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരാണ് ഇത് അണച്ച് അവിടെ സന്തോഷമായിട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരാണ് ഈ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷണൽ ഗ്യാരണ്ടി നടത്താൻ പോകുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So I will conclude by saying that there is 1.3 billion population under, as has been referred. ഈ പ്രോജക്റ്റിന്റെ പിന്നിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനമായിട്ടും നമ്മൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഡോക്ടർ NR മാധവ മേനൻ, അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ചില സ്പീച്ചസും സ്റ്റഡീസിന്റെയും ബേസിസിലാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇത് ഫോർമുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ തന്നെ ഒരു സ്പീച്ചിൽ പുള്ളി പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, എ കൺട്രി വിത്ത് 1.25 ബില്യൺ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ, അന്ന് അത്രേ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ, 1.25 ബില്യൺ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ, ആൻഡ് അക്ഷരം എഴുതാൻ അറിയാവുന്ന 10-12 ലക്ഷം വക്കീലന്മാര്, ഒരു 50,000-ൽ താഴെയുള്ള ജഡ്ജിമാര്, ആൻഡ് half the population does not know why the institution of this court എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു എന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാത്ത ഒരു രാജ്യത്താണ് നമ്മളൊക്കെ വക്കീലന്മാരായിട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇവരെങ്ങാനും ഇതിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് അറിഞ്ഞു തുടങ്ങിയ നിങ്ങൾക്കാർക്കും കേസിനൊന്നും യാതൊരു പഞ്ഞവും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. Definitely there will be no dearth of cases. And I am very sure that there is several illegalities happening, but you may have to go out to the community and work with the community. അവരെ സെർവ് ചെയ്യണം. ഇഷ്ടം പോലെ കേസും ആവശ്യത്തിന് കാശും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ലഭിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ലോയറിംഗിന്റെ ലാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് വുഡ് ബി എൻകറേജിങ് യു ടു ഡു കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ലോയറിംഗ്. So by these what we call certain concepts, I would Sandeep would take over, and Sandeep has ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ കണക്ക് the study of institutions basically Sandeep's contribution, and he has made a good presentation last week. And I was deeply impressed by that. I hope that he will share many of those thoughts with you, which will also be encouraging for you. Thank you. എന്തെങ്കിലും സംശയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പിന്നീട് നമുക്ക് സംസാരിക്കാം. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable words. As sir has stated the importance of paralinguistic languages and also the hurdle that the law students are facing to come while coming to the legal profession, that is the longer incubation period from a law student to a complete lawyer. Hope with the accomplishment of the task or project complete lawyer, we will be able to change this myth to a great extent. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I invite Sandeep Chandrashekaran, sir. A disciplined and morally upright nation is built by a disciplined and morally upright institution, as stated by Ramnath Kovind. Sandeep Chandrashekaran, sir, convener, project complete lawyer, one among the strong pillars of LJRF, secretary LJRF state chapter, to envisage his vision and experience on the topic to us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Drishya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, giving us the opportunity. I'm obviously a part of LJRF, and nevertheless, each of the functions, each of the programs of the LJRF has its own identity. Okay, LJRF itself is an institution, and under this institution there are different programs that are being conducted, and each of the program has their own character, identity. And even though I am part of this LJRF universe, within this universe there are different planets, and 30-day internship program is such a unique program meant for LLB students, and I'm very glad to see so much participants in the second edition of the 30-day internship program. And I have already spoken to all of you in another session introducing about LJRF itself. And again, I got the privilege to speak to you again on an important topic of Project Complete Lawyer. I also thank Johnson sir for elaborating on Project Complete Lawyer, explaining its scopes. What I will be saying I will be adding to what Johnson sir has already mentioned, and he said I will be mainly speaking about institutions. So let me do that. The concept of institution is very important. First and foremost, let me ask you one question. There are in this program, I can see many of the students of Project Complete Lawyer are also present, and I'm going to ask this question, and they may not know the answer. If you know the answer, please keep it yourself. Let the students in the 30-day internship program give the answer first, and if they are unable to give the answer, students from the Project Complete Lawyer can answer. Okay. So my question is this. I think many of you have heard about Indian Constitution described as a living document. I hope the term living document, Indian Constitution is a living document, is something, it is a recurring theme in many of the judgments delivered by the Supreme Court and the different high courts in and around the country. So if Indian Constitution is classified as a living document, my question is, has anyone seen this Indian Constitution, this living Indian Constitution? Have you met this living Indian Constitution? Is there anyone who has met this living Indian Constitution? The judges are saying Indian Constitution is a living document. So in order to say it as a living document, it must be something that is breathing, something that is walking, or something that is capable of expression, capable of intelligence. So have you met this Indian Constitution? Is the book Indian Constitution? When the judges are saying Indian Constitution is a living document, does the judges mean the Bare Act, or is it something else? What is your answer? Can anyone answer? Has anyone met or given a shake hand to the Indian Constitution? Is it a complicated question? I hope not. So,
Joseph has raised his hands. Yes, Joseph.
I think it's a judgment of the court, which is said as the that is why it is regarded as a living document. All the judgments and the laws are based
come
on.
again.
All the judgments and the laws are based on the Indian Constitution. So it is living from the. It is living from the day it was came into force, and it is also living today through the judgments and the laws, which is make ഇപ്പോൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ലോ വരെ അതിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്യാണ്. സോ അതുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു അത് ലിവിംഗ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്.
Joseph, thank you so much for your reply. Thank you for the response.
Kevin has a answer.
Kevin, എന്താണ്?
Kevin Joy.
Kevin Joy.
സാർ ഇവിടെ കറണ്ട് ഇല്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഓഫാക്കി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന വീഡിയോ. ഒന്ന് ആൻസർ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ. എന്റെ ഒരു ഒപ്പീനിയൻ ആട്ടോ, എനിക്കത് അത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു വെച്ചാല് ഇപ്പൊ ലിവിങ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയാനായിട്ട് അത് ഇപ്പോഴും അത് എന്നാ പറയാ അപ് ടു ഡേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ കാലാകാലങ്ങളിൽ വെച്ച് പോകുന്നുണ്ട് ഒരു സ്കീം വെച്ചാന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. കാരണം അത് മനുഷ്യന്റെ ലിവിങ് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ്സ് ഇവോൾവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതനുസരിച്ച് ഈ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ അതനുസരിച്ച് അപ്ഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടാനുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷൻസും നമ്മുടെ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഈ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ അമെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നതിന്റെ ബേസിസിൽ അത് ഭാവിയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും നെസസറി ചേഞ്ചസ് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ അതനുസരിച്ച് അപ് ടു ഡേറ്റ് ആവാനുള്ളതിന്റെ ഒരു സ്കീമാണെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പൊ ലിവിങ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതൊരു വ്യക്തിയായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റൂല. അതൊരു എന്നാ പറയാ ഇപ്പോഴും അത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു സമയം വെച്ചിട്ട് അത് അപ് ടു ഡേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ അത് തന്നെയാണ് മുമ്പോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതിനൊരു ചേഞ്ചസ് എന്നാ പറയാ നമ്മള് ഒരു കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ഇപ്പൊ 1950 എന്നൊക്കെ കൂട്ടാം. ആ സമയത്ത് കുറെ പ്രൊവിഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി, പക്ഷെ അതിലോട്ട് തന്നെ കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ അമെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് ആഡ് ചെയ്ത് അപ് ടു ഡേറ്റ് ആക്കി. അങ്ങനെ അത് ഇപ്പോഴും ജീവിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു വസ്തുതയായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കുന്നതാണ് എന്റെ ഒരു തോന്നൽ.
Adarsh has an answer, I think.
Adarsh. Yes, we can have one more response. Yes, Adarsh.
Sir, do pardon, my internet connectivity is unstable, so I'm not able to on my video.
Understood, Adarsh.
Okay, like as to why the Indian Constitution is considered as a living document. So the first question is as to what constitutes a living thing. A living thing means something which is able to consciously respond to its surrounding. And in that sense, the Indian Constitution is a living thing in the sense that it is able to consciously respond to the situations and circumstances that has occurred in the Indian society itself. Like if there is a necessary evil, the Indian Constitution can be suitably amended and like it can be adapted. It's not a static document. Like it's not like a rock. It can be like it can be changed according to the current needs. It's capable of amendment and it's capable of growth along with the morals of the society. Like the morals which are present in 1950 are not the morals which are of now. So it is capable of changing along with the society. So in that sense, it is a living document.
Noted, Adarsh. Thank you so much. So Adarsh, thank you, Adarsh, Kevin and Joseph. ജോസഫിന്റെ ആൻസർ എനിക്ക് വിട്ടുപോയി. ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ എനിക്കൊരു ഇന്റർനെറ്റ് ഇന്ററപ്ഷൻ വന്നായിരുന്നു. ജോസഫ്, ക്യാൻ യു ജസ്റ്റ് ബ്രീഫ്ലി ഒന്ന് ചെറുതായിട്ടൊന്ന് പറയാമോ? ഒന്നും കൂടി പറയാമോ? ഞാൻ കേട്ടില്ല. സോറി, മൈ അപ്പോളജീസ്.
അതായത് ഇപ്പം ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ 13 വെച്ചാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പം പറയാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പഴയുള്ള ലോ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ വയലേറ്റ് ചെയ്താണെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ എടുത്തു കളഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിനെ അമെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അത് പല ഇത് വെച്ച് നമുക്കത് മാറ്റിയെടുക്കാം. അത് ഇപ്പം ഇനി പുതിയതായിട്ട് വരുന്നതാണെങ്കിലും അതിനെ പോലെ തന്നെ മാറ്റിയെടുത്ത് നമുക്ക് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷന്റെ ബേസിക്സ് അതായത് ബേസിക് സ്ട്രക്ചറിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്ത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ ലോസ് ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടാക്കാനും അതിന് വലിയ ജഡ്ജ്മെന്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാനും പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ. അന്നേരത്തേക്കും അതിന്റെ ബേസിലാണ് ജഡ്ജ്മെന്റ്.
ഇപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി. കറക്റ്റ് മനസ്സിലായി. താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച്. ഓക്കെ. അപ്പം ജോസഫ്, കെവിൻ ആൻഡ് ആദർശ് 3 പേര് നമുക്ക് റെസ്പോണ്ട് ചെയ്തു. വി ഡോണ്ട് ഹാവ് ഡ്യൂ ടു ദ പോക്സിറ്റി ഓഫ് ടൈം I will restrict the response to these three individuals. I think these 3 individuals have very much summarized the understanding of a living document, Indian Constitution as a living document. Now, ningalde again another question to 3 of you. I need a yes or no answer. So whether you have met the Indian Constitution. If I ask whether you have shaken hands with the Indian Constitution or you have shared a coffee with the Indian Constitution, what will be your answer? Yes or no? I need a yes or no answer. Joseph?
I think yes.
Yes. You have shaken hands with the Indian Constitution.
അതായത് ഞാനിപ്പോ ഇത്രയും പറയാൻ കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ ഈ റൈറ്റ് ടു ലൈഫ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ
yes എന്നാണല്ലോ.
Yes.
Because of the paucity of time only I am restricting it. Kevin, yes or no? You have shaken hands with the Indian Constitution, have a coffee, breakfast, had a wonderful time with the Indian Constitution. Yes or no? Kevin?
Confusing question ആണ്, പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ നോ വെച്ച് പോകും.
Very tricky question, I know, but again, due to the paucity of time, I need a yes or no answer.
No.
No. Okay. Adarsh?
Yes, sir. I meet every day. I meet Indian Constitution on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, you meet the Indian Constitution. Correct. Okay, fine. Thank you for the response. Kevin, thank you. Let me elaborate on my question itself. So many of you many of the students may be saying either yes or no. Okay. Without any doubt, without any question, any shadow of doubt, all of you can confidently say yes. You have met and shaken hands with the Indian Constitution. Yeah. Have you seen anyone who has participated in the Indian election? I hope at least once in your life you have met at least one person who has participated in the Indian election, right? Is there any person in this Google Meet who has not met a person or who is not a friend with a person who has not taken part in the Indian election? Is there anyone in this meeting? I think not. Okay. If you are a person who has given his or her vote in any Indian election, whether it is a local election, whether it is the state election or the central election, you are the Indian Constitution. Okay. Why? Because you go into the preamble of the Indian Constitution. We, the people of India, who is the we? We, the people of India, solemnly constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic. Okay. So by participating in free and fair election, by giving your vote in an electoral process, what are you doing? The Indian Constitution, what is written in the Indian Constitution, that is what is written in the preamble, democracy. You are making it into a reality. Okay. Indian Constitution without the citizens of India, without you, the people who are present in front of me. Again, many of your cameras are switched off. The people in front of the camera, behind the camera, who has voted at least once in their lifetime, they are the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution lives through the citizens of India. All the constitutions around the world lives through the respective citizens of those countries. So why I am saying this? Law, as you know, it is an intangible concept. It is intangible. You cannot smell it. Technically speaking, you cannot smell it. You cannot touch it. You cannot taste it. It is a law is a concept that is born out of our mind. It is something that is born out of human mind. Law is an attempt to collaborate among ourselves. Okay, there is a theory. There is a famous theory in legal jurisprudence. It is known as social contract theory. According to social contract theory, that is propounded by whom? Anyone knows who propounded social conduct theory? Social contract theory. Who propounded it? Any answers? Social contract. In jurisprudence, there is a theory known as social contract theory. Anyone knows who propounded that theory, social contract? Thomas Hobbes. Okay, there is a famous English jurist known as Thomas Hobbes. In his famous literature Leviathan, it was published around 1567. In Leviathan, he propounded the social contract theory. Basically, social contract theory says that law is a contract among human beings. Okay, in this contract, human beings are agreeing among themselves to cooperate among themselves, to collaborate, to cooperate, basically to love each other in order to face the challenges offered by nature. Okay, this social contract theory was propounded when theory of evolution was articulated by Darwin. Okay, Darwin and Thomas Hobbes influenced each other, and the Darwinian theory, according to the Darwinian theory, nature, there is a selection process, the survival of the fittest, natural selection process is there. Those who are strong, they shall survive, and those who are weak, they shall die. Okay, that is a very misconstrued summary of theory of evolution. But the latest theory of evolution says those those living beings that are capable of cooperating among themselves. Okay, for what purpose you are cooperating? You are cooperating among yourself or with other life forms in order to increase your survival, your possibility for survival. Okay, so human beings are social animals. We cooperate among ourselves. We share labor. Someone has just mentioned about specialization. We have specialized our labor, our functioning among ourselves in a way in which we try to cooperate among ourselves. We cooperate among ourselves to increase our collective prosperity. Law is nothing less than a facilitation. It is a code of language where we can see a consensus, a contract. The Indian Constitution is a contract among the Indian citizens to cooperate among ourselves to increase our prosperity, our economic, social, and political prosperity. And we can see this contract in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. We, the people. Preamble of the Indian Constitution evidences that social contract. So, law is a concept that is emerging from our mind. So, there is something that is very much common between the lawyer and an engineer. Just like an engineer inventing a car. Okay, imagine about a car as a machine or any type of machine. It does not exist in nature by itself. It is something that is imagined by the engineer. Okay, so a car has to be imagined by an engineer, or a building. Imagine about a building. Imagine the building of the Supreme Court of India. Okay, the Supreme Court of India, building of the Supreme Court of India or the Kerala High Court, it does not exist naturally. It has to be imagined first in the mind of the engineer. First we imagine and we take action. The engineer takes positive action to realize this imagination. Okay, so just like an engineer, the person who is specialized in law, Actually, a person who is concerned with law. Who is that person? It is everyone. If you are born into this world, you are born into the world of law. Okay, a law will be covered. A person will be affected by law from his birth and even after his death. Okay, wherever there is human interaction, there will be law. Okay, so why? Because law is the motor. Okay, if the human beings are the bricks, law is the motor that brings the human beings together, that gives form to the social contract, that creates society. Okay, society creates is born into existence by social contract. So law, as I have mentioned, the Indian Constitution is an imagination. Democracy is an imagination. Okay, you cannot say that democracy exists in nature. Democracy, equality. Where is equality? Whether all animals are treated equal. We say we call for animal rights, but within nature, whether there is animal rights. Nature is full of violence if you pay close attention. Every animal is struggling to find food. Okay, whereas the Indian Constitution guarantees right to live with dignity. Can you live in dignity in nature? Without collaboration, without cooperation, can you live with dignity in nature? Every day will be a struggle. Okay, so basically the Indian Constitution is a social contract, and the just like an engineer, we have imagined about certain values like republicanism, values like democracy, values like justice. What kind of justice? Economic, political, social justice. These are all imaginations. Just like an engineer, we are imagining equality. We are imagining right to life and personal liberty. It is an imagination. So we have to make it into a reality. If the Constitution, in a book, we have a Constitution, Indian Constitution, which provides Article 14, Article 21, Article 19. There are words that are given in the Indian Constitution, but these words are not enough. By writing something into a book, it doesn't come into reality. Imagine Mr. Sandeep has 20 million rupees. If I write it in a book, it doesn't come true, does it? Okay. Article 21, I am writing down. All persons within the Indian territory shall have right to life and personal liberty, except according to procedure established by law. Okay, I am writing it down. By simply writing it down in a book, does it mean it has come into reality? No, it does not. Okay, we meet each other. We see Indian citizens who believe in democracy, who believe in republicanism, who believe in equality, who believes in fraternity, who believes in economic, political, social justice. We meet each other every day. I believe each and everyone who is present here believes in secularism, believes in socialism, democracy, republicanism, but believing itself is not enough. We have to take positive action. Just like an engineer, after imagining about a computer or a supercar, racing car, he takes positive action. He or she takes positive action to make it a reality. Just like that, there are certain mechanisms that are provided in the Indian Constitution to make the concept that are born from our mind into a reality in the physical world. And the mechanism is the institutions that are provided under the Indian Constitution. There are different institutions. There is the institution of Parliament, Legislative Assembly, which represents the will of the people. which represents the democratic component of the Indian Constitution. There are the judiciary, which represents the enforcement mechanism. The judiciary is an institution that acts as a guardian of the Indian Constitution. It is like institutions like, it is through institutions like the legislature, judiciary, and the executive, the Constitution comes into life. Okay, so the purpose of an institution, not according to me, you might have heard about Hegel. Hegel is a German jurist, and according to him, the purpose of an institution is to bring the concept of law into reality. So we need, for instance, the Supreme Court of India to make the to ensure that the values of the Constitution are brought to life among the people. Okay, imagine if there is no proper elections that are being conducted. There is the election commission that ensures that proper elections are conducted. That ensures that India is a democracy in its truest sense. We have the judiciary to ensure that the laws are properly interpreted. Interpretation of law is there. Okay, to implement the Indian Constitution, the legislatures of India, those who are vested with the will of the people, they enact different legislations. For example, in order to implement right to education, that we have the Right to Education Act 2005. In order to implement the directive principles of state policy, that is to provide free legal aid, we have the Indian Legal Service Act, the District Legal Service Authority Act, or the State Legal Service Authority. District Legal Service Authority, or the State Legal Service Authority, or the Central Legal Service Authority, constituted under the Legal Service Authority Act. Okay, that is a particular legislation that was enacted by the Indian Parliament in order to principles of state policy, that is to provide free legal aid to those who cannot afford legal services. That is to ensure that no person is denied access to justice due to social economic disability. There are concepts, these are values of the Indian Constitution, and in order to ensure these values, there are institutions that are put in place by the Constitution itself. Basically, the Indian Constitution is a software, and each of the Indian citizens are the hardware. Okay, hardware and software. Keep that in mind. The mind of an Indian citizen is the hardware through which the Indian Constitution, the software, runs. And the institution, the High Court, the Supreme Court, these are all huge hardware. They are complex hardwares, the building blocks of which are individuals. Who are these individuals? If you take the High Court of Kerala, we are analyzing the High Court of Kerala in Project Complete Lawyer. If you take the High Court of Kerala, it is a complex hardware. The building blocks of this hardware are individuals, and these individuals are whom? These are judges and advocates, and the citizens who have grievances, legal grievances, as mentioned by Johnson sir. Okay, so the hardware of the Kerala High Court is an institution. It is a hardware. Kerala High Court as an institution is a hardware, complex, multi-complex hardware, the building blocks of which consist of three types of individuals. One is the judges, another one is the advocates who are practicing in the high courts. Third one is the clients or the persons with legal grievances. All these individuals, as just mentioned, they are themselves small hardwares who are running with a software known as the Indian Constitution. So the institution is created as a hardware. The responsibility of the institution is to execute the directions that are given in the software. The Indian Constitution has a direction. Indian Constitution as a software has some programmed directions, instructions, and the responsibility of the institution is to execute those instructions. And for example, Article 32 says that the Supreme Court of India, or Article 226 of the Indian Constitution says that high courts of different respective states in India have the duty to enforce fundamental rights through writ jurisdictions. Okay, as you know, there are how many types of writs? There are how many types of writs are there? Writ jurisdiction? Anyone?
5 types.
5 types? Yes. Confidently say five types of jurisdictions, right? 5 types of jurisdictions under. I'm just giving you an example. നമ്മുടെ software, നമ്മുടെ Indian Constitution direction ആണ് institutions primarily they have writ jurisdictions, and these writ jurisdictions are provided to enforce protect fundamental rights. If there is any violation of fundamental rights, there is an instruction to this institution, that is the hardware. Okay, if there is any violation of fundamental rights of any persons within the Indian territory, or if there is any violation of fundamental rights for any person within the state of Kerala, the High Court has the responsibility to protect those fundamental rights, and accordingly the High Court can issue such and such writs. Okay, so how the law is implemented? The law, as I just mentioned, it is a mechanism to promote and protect our ability to cooperate among ourselves, our ability to love each other. The role of the advocate is to ensure that this cooperation goes very smoothly. The advocate is there, advocates and other paralegal professionals are there, along with the judicial officers. They are there to ensure that there is a smooth flow of social cooperation among persons within the territory of India. Whenever there is this social cooperation breaks down, whenever this social contract, our agreement to cooperate through the social contract breaks down, the advocates and the judges, the paralegal professionals all come into play, and we do our best to repair it. That is why we are called social engineers. Social engineers, okay. We invent institutions. We invent devices. The High Court of Kerala as an institution is an invention. It is a machine. It is a machine created by social engineers. The judicial officers are social engineers. The judges are social engineers. The advocates who are appearing before the High Court are social engineers. So they are running the machine, they are maintaining the machine, they are inventing new institutions. For example, there is a new machine that is being invented by social engineers. That is the National Company Law Tribunal. Very recently, this institution was established. National Company Law Tribunal was established. And another important institution was also very recently invented by the social engineers. When I say social engineers, the legislatures at the center and the state, they are law graduates. Okay, so law graduates are when I speak about law graduates, we can assume any social role. We can become an advocate, we can become judicial officers, we can become policy makers, we can become legislators, we can become civil servants. So many of the members of Law and Justice Research Foundation are from different social backgrounds, different with different social commitments. We have civil servants, we have politicians, we have lawyers, advocates, judges as our members. For another invention of an institution is the GST. GST, the Goods and Service Tax. That is a GST code that was established. There is another example of an invention of an institution. All this purpose, all the ultimate purpose of an institution is to make a concept, make an imagination into reality. So basically, we in Project Complete Lawyer, we are trying to bring up successful lawyers. Trying to reduce the incubation time for a law graduate to become a successful lawyer by helping them to analyze law, understand law on an institutional basis. Okay. The problem with legal education today is that in your law schools and law colleges, when you're studying law in its diseased form. Okay. You are studying law in an inanimate form. നിയമത്തെ മരിച്ച ഒരു നിലയിലാണ് നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുന്നത്. Okay. When you're studying laws inside the classrooms, you are studying a dead body, just like medical students. What do medical students do? They dissect bodies. They study dead bodies. Actually, they see the diagrams. They see the picture of heart, lungs, different organs of the body. And in each semester, they will be studying the brain, they will be studying the lungs, they will be studying the kidney, and basically, they what they understand is initially they will think that human body is the brain. It is only the brain. It is not the heart. When they are studying the heart, they think human body is the heart. Basically, even if you put all these organs together, a dead body is not what a medical student should be appreciating. A medical student should be appreciating a living human body rather than a dead body. Okay. So, but nevertheless, in an attempt to understand the human body, you have to start at some point. You have to start with the dead body, and you have to progressively. You have to understand the body in motion. Body in a living format. But unfortunately, when it comes to the law students, many of the law students only get the opportunity to understand the law in its dead form. Okay. When you are studying IPC, you are not studying CRPC. When you are studying Indian Evidence Act, you are not studying it in conjunction with IPC. When you are studying Indian contract, you are not studying it in conjunction with CPC. Okay. When you're studying Indian Constitution, you are not studying the procedural laws that govern the Supreme Court and the High Court. Okay. So what you are doing is you are studying everything separately in a watertight compartment. When you're studying law in a very watertight compartment, what happens is in your mind the law is dead. In your mind the law is nothing less than a concept. But actually, law is a living document. Not only the Indian Constitution. Every law in India is a living document. Whether it is the Indian Penal Code, whether it is the Indian Evidence Act, it is all of them are living. How it is living? It is living through these institutions. Yeah, the Indian Penal Code is living through the criminal code. The Indian Contract Act is living through the civil codes. When a contract is enforced by either an arbitration tribunal or a civil court, what happens is the Indian Contract Act comes to life. Okay. If no one is entering into contract based on the Indian Contract Act, it is dead. For example, sati, prohibition of abolition of sati act. There is a statute that is created in India. Now in India, in modern India, there is no recorded events of sati. Sati as a practice has stopped altogether, and that particular law is no longer used. Now, for another classical example, also I can give. Another one is Telegram. Who is using Telegram today? No one is using Telegram. As to the best of my knowledge, the Telegram office in Trivandrum was closed down in 2019. There is no Telegram office today. Indian government has stopped using Telegram as a technology. So the Telegram Act altogether has stopped being used altogether. So the law, when you stop, when you stop conducting your behavior towards others based on a particular statute, the statute itself dies. Okay. So the statute, when I say the Indian, when the judiciary is saying the Indian Constitution is a living document, kindly remember every Indian law is living, and it is living through the citizens, the persons who are affected by the law, the persons who are restricting or designing their actions and omissions according to the law, aided by advocates and legal institutions created under the law. So what is the solution? I have mentioned that the law students are does not get the opportunity to study law in its living form. So when in the classrooms you are studying each of the laws in isolation, and if you are lucky, enough, you will be able to study a law in connection, a particular law in connection with other law. As a matter of fact, every law is connected with each other, and it is virtually impossible to realize this connection between all the laws in a tight packed semester schedule that is created in your curriculum. Okay. At the present situation, in the form in which the curriculum is formed in Kerala and all around the country, it is impossible to study law in its living format. Okay, so that is why we have come up with Project Complete Lawyer. In Project Complete Lawyer, what we are doing is we are trying to study law in its living form. And where can you see law in its living form? Okay, I am equating this to a medical student seeing a living human being. In their medical student life, a medical student will be seeing dead bodies, and finally he will get the opportunity.
One moment, Sandeep.
Yes.
8:15, we'll have to start the other session.
Oh, sure. Oh, my apologies. We have another session for Project Complete Lawyer. My apologies. So I will wind up with 5 minutes. So medical students will see a living human being at the end of their medical college. So where do the law students get to see law in its living form? They get to see the law in the living form when they go for legal practice. And the problem with the legal practice, as just mentioned by Johnson sir, is that it takes a long, unreasonable time. And that is because we believe that the way in which the law in its living form is imparted, the student is being exposed to law in its living form by the senior advocates in the current traditional system is ineffective. It is unorganized. I'm not saying that we don't need senior advocates. We need senior advocates. Senior advocates have a very important role in helping the law graduates to understand law in its living form. But we believe that it needs to be more efficient, more effective. And how in Project Complete Lawyer, how we intend to do is that we see institutions created under the law as the appropriate forum to observe law in motion. Why? Because as I have mentioned earlier, in order to create an institution like the High Court, which is a complex hardware, the three important components are the judges, the advocates, and the clients who have legal grievances. And this is the place. This High Court as an institution is the only place where these three components comes together: the judges, advocates, and the clients. And when these three components comes together, the law comes to life. Within an institution, we can see that the institution is given certain powers under the Indian Constitution to animate the law into reality. When I say animate the law into reality, to make the values of the Indian Constitution into reality, the High Court is given certain powers. An example is the writ jurisdiction. And in order to exercise these powers, there are certain procedures. Okay, and we see the substantive law, that is the Indian Constitution, and the procedural law, that is the High Court Kerala High Court Act and rules. These are the procedural laws in which the powers should be exercised. That is, there is a rule of law. That is, law will dictate how the law should be exercised. Okay, and when the substantive law is implemented through the procedural law, the concept, the mental concept of law or the mental values of Indian Constitution comes to life within an institution such as the High Court. So in Project Complete Lawyer, we are trying to identify what are the powers of the single bench and the division bench of Kerala High Court. And there are around 15 different powers that are exercised by the High Court. And for each of those powers are granted so that the High Court can provide redressal to certain grievances, which are basically violations of this social contract. These are basically remedies when certain possible violations of this social contract manifest. And the advocates comes into play, representing the persons who are aggrieved, to activate this power on behalf of the aggrieved person. And the justice is delivered through a procedure that is established. And basically, we are trying to identify what is the power, who can avail this, exercise this power, and who can avail the benefit of this power, how this power is being exercised, whether there is any limitations. We are trying to document this, and we are basically trying to create an autobiography of this High Court as an institution. And once this documentation is done, we believe it will be beneficial for the clients to understand what is the power of the High Court, what is the role of the High Court in realizing the fundamental rights of the client, in realizing the duties of the advocate. The potential junior advocates can also refer to this document to see what are the different powers of the High Court, and what kind of powers can be activated by the junior advocate for their clients, and what are the procedure, what are the steps. So such a documentation will bring complete transparency to the functioning of the institution. When there is a transparency in the functioning of an institution, it brings confidence to the public. And for the judiciary, confidence of the public is something very important. Even though you are not part of the Project Complete Lawyer, and you intend to do your legal practice, you please kindly look at legal practice, try to understand law in its motion by analyzing the institutions created under the law. That is the basic gist of Project Complete Lawyer. And thank you for the opportunity. Unfortunately, we have to depart, and as we have another session for Project Complete Lawyer. Thank you for the opportunity. And if you have any more questions, kindly email to us. We will give both of our email IDs, and if you have any questions, please kindly raise them, and we will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep sir. Sandeep sir, the convener of Project Complete Lawyer. Thank you so much, sir, for taking us like a voyage through the sea of knowledge from the evolution till what we are present. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. Without further delay, I invite Fidha Bindh Anis, second semester BBALLB student, Azhar Law College, Thodupuzha, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. It is such a great honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. First of all, I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Advocate Johnson Gomez, Sir, Chairman of Project Complete Lawyer, to take out his time from his busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, sir. At the outset, I thank our resource person, Mr. Sandeep Chandrashekaran, sir, Convener of Project Complete Lawyer, Joint Secretary, LJRF State Chapter. Thank you, sir. I must thank Sahu, sir, who is the backbone of LJRF. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to Ms. Advocate Neelima, ma'am, who organized a program even amidst the pandemic. Thank you, ma'am. I specifically thank the people who have been the backbone of the event. So I extend my gratitude towards our web admin, Vishnudev, for technical side support. Thank you. I must thank the organizing team, volunteers, for working hard for the past few days to make this day successful. I also thank all the participants for their active participation. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fidha. Once again, thank you everyone for your cooperation and the speakers for enlightening us with your words, and LJRF and other coordinators of today's session. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.